Hey everybody, I'm going to do a breakdown of a friend of mine. He's this gentleman right over here. His name is Pacheco. Um, and I'm going to include also a link. He just started a brand new online website with online training. And I think it can be really cool for a lot of people. So here he's actually a purple belt. So he's a jiu-jitsu purple belt, but he's a black belt in Luta Livre. And he has a lot of little bit different things that he does that work very, very well. He's a very active competitor, and also we fought on the same rise cards and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do a breakdown of this match. Um, this match is quite interesting. There's actually one position later on that I personally haven't seen before, but otherwise it's a lot of really strong basics. And let's see what he did well and what he could have improved, and also same for his opponent. So they start out, they make some grips. His opponent looks like just a little bit of a truck. He looks really sturdy, and his opponent's gonna look for some sacrifice takedowns. He dropped, and now from there he did a. This is actually, in my opinion, let's back up a little bit. Let's watch it again. In my opinion, this is a really underutilized takedown. It's a old school judo technique that's a sacrifice throw where you drop one foot in front and then fall over. Our good friend Marshall, he really loves this move, and I'm going to pause it right here. And I think it's really good because if you don't get it, you land on guard anyway. So, why not try it? So the interesting thing is here that they do a tie up. So his opponent starts to go for like a underhook, and Pacheco, he goes over the top for an overhook. And from here, both have different takedowns that they can do. But what's really smart, what Pacheco is going to do is he's going to pull close guard. And since he pulls close guard, he's going to have right away an overhook. So he's already starting an attack. So from here, his opponent is stuck. So as you can see, he's leaning with his knee onto the side of the underhook, and I think he's posting with the opposite leg. And what that's going to do is that's going to enable him to work his other hand as a crossface to try to rip this arm out, which he's going to do successfully in a second. So as you can see, he starts to crossface and he's going to start to rip his arm out. And this is definitely a time where Pacheco can start to hand fight and start to bring his arm on the inside of the bicep, start to go into his hip and start to attack triangles and omoplatas from here as well. If somebody's quite flexible, they can probably go for arm bars too, even right off of this. So he rips it out, but now his opponent is going to do and he's doing like grips. His opponent doesn't look like he's utilizing the gi that much. So his opponent is going to try to open up with a, really poor posture. His posture is really poor, and he's trying to put a knee in the middle, and he's going to try to scoot back. I don't think this guard opening is too effective, but his opponent's quite strong, so probably he's had some success with it, which is why he's doing it. So as he's doing it, all his weight is here. So I think if Pacheco used his hand to control his sleeve, he could pretty easily sweep him over into this direction. But what Pacheco is going to do instead, which is a great idea, is as you can see, this elbow is flared. So Pacheco is going to go for a kimura on that elbow. And what you saw is, if we go back a second, Pacheco is going to use this hand to peel the elbow even more towards him, and then he's going to go over the top with the other hand and go for a kimura. So right there, as you can see, he peeled it, and now he's setting up his kimura, and he's going to be within the kimura for quite some time. So here his opponent, even reached back for a second with his hand to try to open up the guard. And again, guys, I've been saying this in the videos, but I suggest that people watch the fight first and then watch my commentary. And now Pacheco felt that, so he does a body triangle. So I believe, it's probably he felt like, oh, there's a small risk that his opponent is gonna, find even an incorrect opening, so to speak. So as you can see, his opponent's reaching back. Now his opponent starts to, put his hand on the hip and leaning onto that side, which is what he should be doing. All right. But Pacheco is actually going to peel that grip, and he's going to start to put the arm behind his back. And his opponent is going to, he's going to just allow the sweep not to get tapped. So as you can see, the arm is already getting exposed. So his opponent should be leaning towards his left to defend his arm, but he just sees that, he might have to tap in a second. So now he just gets swept over. So here Pacheco has two choices. His first choice, would be to try to get the submission faster, is to take his left leg and throw it over his opponent's neck and roll towards the screen, towards us. And while he's doing that, he would end up in like a kimura omoplata position. Or he can use this leg to dismount and go for side control and try to finish from there. So let's wait and see what he's going to do. So, Pacheco's being patient here. He even looked, I think, to check the score, or maybe checking what his cornerman was telling him. And now he is going to, let's see, he posts on his head and then he dismounts. So that was a very good detail. Even you can see a sweat right over here. He posted on his head, so that he has the balance to just step right over him. And now Pacheco's trying to do like a, Sakuraba type of kimura, and he actually does succeed with bringing his arm behind his opponent's back, but his opponent is quite strong. And he's kind of gritting his teeth and, probably using every ounce of muscle that he has to alleviate that. So here, Pacheco, I think, could have finished the match had his hips not passed so far over towards the left, our left. So if he stayed more on his right hip, that would pin his opponent. And if his opponent was pinned, then he would have, I think, finished the fight right away. But also his opponent is kind of like turning and bridging into him. So that's, sometimes happens. And Pacheco is actually going to lose the balance. And now he's going to do a good job by getting the top position back. And, that's the really nice thing about the kimura. Even if you lose it, you're still able to, hold on to it and then turn it into something else, as Pacheco just did a second ago. So now they're going to start in the middle. Thankfully, the scramble didn't really happen out of bounds. So they're going to restart right in that same position. And that position is you can't finish the kimura from there. But it's a classic position to turn into arm bars and back takes, which is what Pacheco is going to start to look for in a second. So here, what his opponent should try to do is, let's back up here. His opponent should try to start to put his back flat and trying to bring this knee under Pacheco's armpit and spinning into Pacheco, or like turning it into like arm bars almost. But it's, quite hard. And what Pacheco is going to do is he steps his foot over. And now this is going to be the position, maybe in about a few seconds, that I haven't seen before. So Pacheco, he passed the leg over, but then he wrapped his own arms, and now he has like this cradle position here. I'm wondering, and I'm going to ask him later, if this was almost like a burrata plata, but I've never seen this position before, and it's, quite unique, but it also looks like it's, really hard to get out of. His opponent's trying to scoop his ankle, but, again, it's, not much he can do. And now his opponent's pushing his foot off, and Pacheco's just keeping this position here. He's, so far winning on points. So, he's looking for the sub. He starts to turning into a belly down armbar. And again, that's a tight armbar, and his opponent jumped over and was able to come on top right away. So his opponent defensively did a good job, and, he's been, getting out of fire quite a few times here. But again, the same thing is going to happen. He has a poor posture. His arms are on the outside. He's controlling his biceps. Now this is good, all right? But when his hands are on the floor, actually, that's Chris. Look at that, Puerto Rican Chris. And that's me. Oh, man, I just saw myself. That's me right there. That's Chris. That's funny. This was from a New York Open. I look like I'm yawning. I'm a little bit bored, waiting for Chris's match to start. So now, let's see. He tries to open. And again, this elbow is just way open. And let's watch what's going to happen. He's doing wrist grips, just trying to just push the knee to open. Now he's doing a better job. He has a better posture. He's short and stocky. So Pacheco's doing that same thing. He's peeling. He did the same move twice. He peeled the elbow and reached around with the other arm and got the kimura. Very beautiful, but it was definitely because, he saw the opening for it, And this match, guys, was 6 minutes. So it's going to end with Pacheco on quite a bit of points. All right. There we have Nick Diaz right over here. Some nice, some nice videos to watch next. So guys, thank you very much. Pacheco, good work. All right. And looking forward to talking to you soon. All right. Bye-bye.